In this video, we'll start working on our other trees. So let's select our other tree trunk and zoom in. Let's start by adding a few branches sticking out. So switch to object mode by hitting tab. Then let's select the top and G to grab, Z for the Z axis, and pull that up a little bit. I still have proportional editing on, so I will turn that off. Now let's have a few branches sticking out. To do that, let's put our mouse near the center, press Ctrl R for loop cuts, click once to place it, and I'll put it up a little bit, and this will be the bottom of one of the branches. Now Ctrl R here in the middle of this top section, left click once, slide it down until this looks kind of squarish. Now switch to face select. Select one of these faces. Next, I want to look at it from the top. So number pad 7. There we go. And E to extrude, pull it out a little bit, left click. I think I want to move that out a little more. So I'm just going to hit G and grab and pull it out a little farther. Now looking at it from the front by hitting number pad 1, G to grab, Z for the Z axis, move it up. S to scale to make it a little bit smaller. And I think that's okay for that branch. Let's make a second branch above that. So Control R, left click where you want the bottom. Control R, left click, move it down where you want the top. Now let's pick one on another side. So I'll switch back to face select. When you go into loop cut, it switches to edge select. We'll take that one. Number pad 7 to look at it from the top. E to extrude. Pull that branch out. G to grab. Z for the Z axis. Pull that up. S to scale. And let's do one more. We'll take one of these sections. I'll use a loop cut to make it a bit smaller. Then face select. Select the one I want. 7 on the number pad to look from the top. E to extrude. Grab on the Z axis and scale. So this will be the base of our tree. Next, we'll add some foliage, the leaves of the tree. So still in edit mode, we're going to add an icosphere. So Shift A for the add menu, then icosphere, and it appears here to the left on the center of the world origin. G to grab that, and let's just stick it here above floating. Next, hit S to scale to make it a little bit bigger, and then left click. So it's not quite as big as I'm going to make it. Now we're going to turn on proportional editing. We're going to click this little arch next to it, and we want to select connected only. That way we don't affect the tree trunk, and we want to select random. So I'm going to pick one face, zoom out a little bit, hit S to scale, and increase the size of my mouse wheel. So as I scale this one, they all scale randomly, which will give us a nice random shape for this part of the tree. I like this overall shape. If you're not happy with yours, you can grab part of it, you can scale part of it, whatever you want to do to create a basic kind of clump of leaves. We'll probably put 2 or 3, so this is not the only one that we'll be using. I want to select just this clump of leaves. So if I press L with my mouse hovering over it, L will select what is linked underneath our mouse. So since the tree trunk is not linked to it, it will not select it. So let's grab this, move it down, rotate it. I'm going to look at it from some different angles, and we'll use that here on this front part of the tree. So I hit number pad 3 to look at from the right. I'm going to hit L to select this, then Shift D to duplicate it, And we'll scale the whole thing a bit bigger. Select a part, scale that. Maybe take this part, grab it and move it. Maybe select and grab this part. So there's not a right or wrong. You're just going to randomly scale or grab using proportional edit to make some different shapes. I think we need one more smaller clump in this area so it doesn't look too off balanced. And actually we can see the top of the tree trunk. So I'm going to select this and move it down to make sure all of those are connected. Let's press L to select this one, Shift D. I'm going to move this one up a little bit, and let's select a face and scale just to add some variety. And I think that will work pretty well for this tree. Let's go ahead next and switch to shading. Next, we want to give the foliage its own color. So if you'll remember, we went to the Material tab. We'll need to be in edit mode. And I'm going to press L over each of the groups of leaves until they're all selected. I'm going to come to the material slots and add a new one. Let's temporarily give it the pine needle color, and then make a copy of this by coming to the shader editor, come to the copy button, and let's rename this tree leaves. We'll call these summer, and we'll make some fall ones here later. So this will be the color for the summer leaves. Last, we'll click assign, and you should see those colors on the leaves. So let's switch to switch. I'm in material preview if you don't know where I'm at right now. So it's this third button. Let's go into object mode. And I think that works well for this tree. If we duplicate it by hitting Shift D, move it on the X axis, we can see that we have another tree with darker leaves and a darker trunk color. Duplicate that again. And now we have kind of the same color leaves, but maybe a bit darker on that. So in the next video, we will take these two trees that we just created and modify them so they're different. And that way, as we generate a scene, we'll have enough variety so it looks a little more realistic.